Golf Channel and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. From Memphis, Tennessee, it's live final round coverage of the FedEx St. Jude Classic. It's Championship Sunday at TPC Southwind, and the FedEx St. Jude Classic is up for grabs. There's not a lot of experience at the top of the leaderboard with only 3 wins in the last 3 pairings. Who will step up in the final round and hoist the trophy at day's end? Now, we told you about Phil Mickelson in trouble now at the 5th. This is his 3rd shot.
A wild second shot from a fairway bunker, so can't find the green in 3. One of the hardest par 4s on the front 9, this 5th hole.
Let's take a look at our Titleist leaderboard. Greg Owen and Fabian Gomez will begin their final round at 1:45 Eastern Time, tied for the lead at 9 under par. There's Phil Mickelson at 6 under, 3 under through his first 4 holes, but will really have a problem saving his par at the 5th. And hello, everyone. I'm Brian Hammonds alongside Kurt Byerman. Phil Mickelson's been telling us all week he wants to feel the pressure of being in contention here to get his game ready for next week in the U.S. Open. And thanks to a good start, he just might be able to feel that pressure today.
Yeah, we didn't think he was going to get there, but all of a sudden with a hot start, he may get his wish. I mean, he's 3 under on his round. Looks like he'll probably make bogey there at 5, but you know, that's the thing. He came in here, he always plays the week before a major, and he finds that that's the best way for him to get ready for that major championship. But he also wants to be in contention at this tournament. He wants to have a chance to win, because that's when he finds out how he's really hitting it, how he's really putting it, and there's no better way for him to prepare.
When you look at this leaderboard, there's a huge opportunity for somebody out there today, because there aren't a lot of wins at the top of this leaderboard.
No, there aren't. I mean, you take a look at a guy like Greg Owen. He's 43 years old. He's never won on the PGA Tour. This is his 214th event this week. So he's got to be feeling some pressure to get the job done. This is a huge day for him. It's been a tough year, though. No top 10s for him this year. Kind of the same thing for Fabian Gomez. He's a little younger, but he's been back and forth between the Web.com Tour and the PGA Tour the last couple of years. He's never won. He did finish 2nd down in Puerto Rico 2 years ago. So we'll see if they have what it takes today to get the job done.
Just 2 of the many really good storylines we'll be following today as this final round unfolds here at TPC Southwind. Let's meet the other members of our broadcast team. Frank Nobilo and Rich Bean will be in their towers. Phil Parkin is on course, and George Savaricas will be handling our interviews today. And this a moment ago at the 5th, the 4th shot for Phil Mickelson.
Not too bad from a tough spot, so most likely a bogey there. Here it is.
So after birdieing 2, 3, and 4, gives one back at the 5th, and now falls 4 shots off the lead. But Phil Mickelson off to a much better start than he got off to yesterday. And meanwhile, the preparations continue on the practice tee here in the final round of the FedEx St. Jude Classic.
Yeah, a few interesting shots on that last hole, especially out the rough. He really dug for that first chip shot, and someone with a great short game like him, that's an elementary mistake. Slight dogleg left, narrow fairway. It's not a very long par 4.
That strong 3-wood here. He's been pretty good today so far. That fifth fairway was the only one he's missed so far. Good shot.
Leaders getting ready to get their final round underway, and let's show you how they got to where they are with our innovative performance presented by Cadillac. These highlights from yesterday: Fabian Gomez, his 3rd shot to the 3rd. He would make birdie from there, and then for birdie at 15 from long range.
They were shying away from that front hole location because of the water, but this was some putt, downhill, quick.
Fabian shot 67 to get the 9 under par and begins the final round tied for the lead with this guy, Greg Owen, his third to 3.
Went for this par 5 and 2, just missed it left, but that was creative and well done.
He would make birdie from there, and then his second to the 18.
Got away with the drive there, caught a good lie, took advantage of that good lie.
Made that. He would shoot 67 as well to get the 9 under par. Gomez and Owen begin the final round tied for the lead. Neither player with a win on the PGA Tour. In fact, this is the first time that Greg Owen has taken a lead to the final round. Patrick Rogers having a good day, playing the 9th, 3 under on his day.
If you keep putting the ball in the fairway here at TPC Southwind, you've got a chance. This Bermuda rough, though, we're seeing a lot of flyers, so you can't put it in there very often or you won't be able to attack these flag sticks.
Last week, Patrick picked up his special temporary membership by his finish at the Memorial, so he can get as many sponsors exemptions as he can get the rest of the year, and taking advantage of that. And back at the first, David Toms has missed the fairway, the 2-time champion here. Won in 03 and 04. One of 3 players to win in back-to-back years. Dave Hill and Lee Trevino, the other 2.
Missed wide right. And he's quite a ways back, 188 yards to the hole. And look at that root right there, boy. And there's one in front of his ball as well. So a root on both sides. He needs to be really careful here.
That's a bad wrist waiting to happen.
Yeah. I mean, looks like he's going to give it a shot here, but you can bet he's not going down deep to get this one. He'll be trying to pick it.
Almost let go of the club with the right hand.
Yeah, at least I don't see him shaking it out, you know, and he's looking at the club now, but at least he's not shaking a wrist out or something like that. Well, a little bit, that right hand. That's how a lot of players over the years have injured themselves. Look, root.
Our friend Billy Ray Brown, that's how he pretty much put the hold on his career, hitting a root.
Yeah. Tiger back at the Masters this year too on the 9th hole. There he hit a root there. It's scary when you have those roots around.
Let's go to 11 and bring in Frank Nobilo.
Yeah. Thank you, Brian. Billy Horschel went out in 32. That's 3 under. But certainly just dropped one back at 10. 11 might cause a few problems today. As you can see, that flag is extremely close to the back edge as we go back to 6.
Phil Mickelson from the middle of the fairway has improved his driving every day this week. Only hit 5 fairways in round 1, hit 7 in round 2, 8 yesterday. So that part of his game seems to be coming around.
The other thing is, too, he's not that far off this week when he does miss fairways. It's not wild. You know, he was in the bunker at 5. It wasn't like it was out of bounds or something. Phil, what's he looking at?
Well, we'll see how much improving he is hitting the fairways. He's one of the best wedge players of all time. I expect this to get close. Just 127 yards. Narrow entrance at the front of this.
He's trying to play a little draw in there. Another reasonable look at birdie.
Another big crowd following Phil Mickelson today. We go back to the 9th. Patrick Rogers for birdie from off the green.
Patrick Rogers tied Tiger Woods while he was at Stanford for most wins ever there at Stanford. He had a heck of an amateur career.
Won earlier this year on the Web.com tour. In fact, still is 6th on their money list despite playing a lot of events out here, and he'll be playing as many events as he can get in the rest of the year as he tries to accumulate enough points to get his full exemption for next year out on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, he's in pretty good shape. Either way, he could go back to the web and probably get it done there as well.
Back at the first, David Toms, the subject of our FedEx Cup summary. That's what he's done in the FedEx Cup race. His best finished 19th in 2009. Also played the Tour Championship in 2011. He's currently ranked 146, so he has some work to do if he's going to make it to the playoffs this year. Jordan Spieth continues to lead the way by 624 points over Jimmy Walker. Dustin Johnson was in the field here, but withdrew after 9 holes in round 1 with an illness. Back at the 9th, Patrick Rogers for his par. Back to 11.
A very lengthy putt for the reigning FedEx Cup champion, Billy Horschel. He's just been starting to play a little better the last month and a half. I guess adjusting to the new status. He's one of the more prominent players in world golf. And he knows he's far enough ahead of the leaders. He's certainly going to need, well, a bunch of birdies coming in, but pretty special week for Billy Horschel by virtue of winning the FedEx Cup last year. He was able to donate on behalf of FedEx themselves $1 million, and it all went to the St. Jude's Children Research Hospital. And take a little trip down there. There's a lot of needy kids. Money's gone to a good place, courtesy of.
You just want to play par 3s rest of the day?
And of course,
can I do that?
the next 3 years, the same thing will happen. FedEx Cup champion will each get to donate $1 million. Back to Mickelson.
And this for birdie at the 6th.
You know, I was after the first 2 days, I thought, yeah, he's going to be looking really good for next week. And then yesterday, I wasn't so sure, but seen a lot of really good shots, some nice putts as well. So he's got to be feeling so good. Well, right now he's thinking he's got a chance to win this one, but he's got to be feeling good about next week.
Phil, I know you like his chances next week.
I do. I feel he's going to win it next week. I really do.
If he keeps doing that, and that's what I've been kind of saying the last couple of days, he needs to see the ball go in the hole, which he is today, and that is a good thing. It's momentum building towards next week. The way he's going, you never know, too. This is not out of the realm of possibilities that he could have a chance today to win this tournament.
He said yesterday he thought 10 under par was going to win the tournament. He's 4 shots away from getting to 10 under par. Of course, next week he's going for that career Grand Slam, the U.S. Open, the only one that he lacks. David Toms back at the first.
The greens started really firming up yesterday. You could see he played a nice lob there, but there's no way to stop it. They're really firm.
At the 18th, Ken Duke for par.
Downhiller. This looks pretty good. Yes, sir. Just walk it in.
That's a pretty busy scorecard. Eagle at 16, bogey at 17, nice par save at 18.
Rich Beam reported in. He's sitting there at 16. He holed a bunker shot there for Eagle. Make you a little money on Sunday.
Back at the first, David Toms for his par. There you see the result. So bogey at the first for David.
And it's such a veteran player. He's done so much out here. I mean, you hate to make bogey, but he knows there's a lot of golf to play. He won't let that rattle him, I'm sure.
Let's go to the 7th and bring in Rich Beam.
Well, thank you very much, Brian. Phil Mickelson back there on the tee. Fairway narrows up around 300 yards off this tee box, so tough to find the fairway for a lot of these players.
Yeah, that's where they got.
Well, looks just to be a 3-wood there, Phil parking.
Well, you know, even if you just hit a 3-wood and miss to the right and left, you're short of the trees, but you'll still be behind the trees, so you have to hit this fairway.
You see there the fairways hit. Brian Ham, as mentioned earlier, has improved every day and going along quite nicely. 4 of 5 already.
For someone who's creative.
Good drive there for Phil Mickelson, finding the fairway at the 7th.
And when we come back, an encore presentation of CBS Sports coverage as we move ahead in the action at the FedEx St. Jude Classic.
TPC Southwind in Memphis, final round of the FedEx St. Jude Classic, and an early move from Phil Mickelson. 3 birdies in his first 4 holes to get it to 5 under. That was at 10, looking for some momentum heading to Chambers Bay. And a moment ago at 14, this to go to 6 under par. Greg Owen trying to win for the first time on the PGA Tour. An eagle opportunity at the par 5 third. Went on to make birdie, and he is our leader at 10 under par. 36-hole leader Brooks Koepka with his first birdie of the day at 6 to go to -9. So the stage is set for another shootout here in Memphis. It is the final round of the FedEx St. Jude Classic. Its rich history on the PGA Tour goes back more than half a century, and that history is filled with great champions and great accomplishments. And as always, a major thread in the fabric of the FedEx St. Jude Classic are the children of St. Jude and the remarkable sense of community around the city of Memphis. FedEx, the players from the PGA Tour, and the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital all coming together to create yet another remarkable week. FedEx St. Jude Classic moved here to TPC Southwind in the late 80s, and with 14 players starting the day within 4 shots of the lead, we could be headed to another memorable finish here in Memphis. It is the final round of the FedEx St. Jude Classic here on CBS. Comfortable temperatures for this time of year in Memphis. Right now it's 86 degrees and just a slight breeze coming out of the south. There was some rain in the forecast earlier, but no longer. Partly cloudy skies, and that's the word for the rest of the afternoon. Phil McAtee along with Ian Baker Finch, and this, Ian, is Brooks Koepka a moment ago.
Yes, he struggled to make birdies yesterday, but finished with a long putt for birdie at 18, and then another beautiful putt there at 6 to get it to 9 under, just 1 back.
Now we're live on the 8th tee, par 3, 170 on the card today.
Firm greens here this week. Really helps to be a long hitter and flight the ball in nice and high.
At 15, Phil's 4 back, -6.
And a good decision to go with long iron here for Phil Mickelson. Get it in play. Makes this a birdie hole if you're coming from the fairway. Awesome putt back at 14 for Phil. Haven't seen many of those hold.
And last year's winner of the FedEx Cup, and what a postseason playoff run he had, Billy Horschel. And that's a tidy little 65 today. So he finishes up at -7.
Well, they say the cream rises to the top. and it certainly appears that way so far today.
So look at how things stand here in the final round in Memphis. Greg Owen, our leader by 1. Brooks Koepka, who won earlier this year in Phoenix, -9 there with Fabian Gomez. Boo Weekley also in with 65. Scott Brown is at -7 through 7, 3 behind, and we'll watch Phil as he concludes his final round. Welcome to the 18th Tower here in Memphis. Bill McAtee and Ian Baker Finch. And what is it about this tournament, this golf course, that lends itself to such dramatic conclusions?
Well, I think it's because it's a tough golf course, mainly. It really is a firm, fast, difficult golf course. Par 70, only 2 par 5s, not many birdie chances. So the guys are pressing towards the end. You throw in a little bit of breeze and some tucked hole locations as we have this weekend, preparing for the US Open next week. It's just a really good, solid test of golf.
And the U.S. Open begins at Chambers Bay in 4 days. How is that factored into this week?
Well, I think it's a good prep because of the difficulty. You have to hit good shots around here, and you have to hit good shots to play well at the U.S. Open. And for players like Phil Mickelson and Billy Horschel, love to play their way into major championships, this is a really good preparation for them.
All right, let's introduce you to the other gentleman helping provide our coverage today. Peter Kostis at 16, Frank Nobilo stationed at the 17th. And down with the players, Rich Beam and David Ferretti. Out at the 7th, here's our leader. In a little bit of trouble, Greg Owen.
Yeah, and he has, well, he's got a big oak in front of him here. He can hit it underneath that one, but then there's one guarding the green, short and right. He's got to be careful not to clip that one, too. From 196 yards. What a shot that is.
Well, he's been waiting a long time to have this kind of an opportunity. Looking for his first win on the PGA Tour. 43-year-old Englishman who makes his home now in Florida. And to share the 54-hole lead for the first time in 214 starts on the PGA Tour. And here's Fabian Gomez now.
166 yards. Very nice tee shot.
He shared that overnight lead with Owen.
That's 8 iron.
Both players seem quite relaxed on the range, David. I talked to both of them before they headed out.
Nobody's nervous anymore.
No, they just go for it, don't they?
Yeah.
Both looking for their first victory out here.
A little bit more on Fabian Gomez, the 36-year-old from Argentina, and he's played awfully well. Ian, take a look at those rankings this week.
Yeah, big improvement. It's sometimes so difficult to figure out what it is, but golf is a fickle game. You just find something on the range or hit one really good shot under pressure. Something your caddy, Coco, walking up there beside his man, might say to you as you're about to tee off. Anything that you can hang your hat on. And both players, Greg Owen and Fabian Gomez, this week appear to be playing far better golf than they have leading in this week.
Over to 15. And here's Phil, second shot on this par 4.
Just 119 yards left. Trying to power a sand wedge all the way back there.
May have tried to power that too much, Rich. That was an uncharacteristic miss there for Phil. That really was a birdie opportunity, and there's not many of them in this closing stretch.
Over to 8.
That excellent tee shot. Brooks Koepka, Bill. Leaves him with just under 12 feet. Made a good putt 2 holes ago. At 6 to get his first birdie of the day. Sadly, it's been a few of those so far. Still okay, though. Plenty of holes ahead. Ranked 23rd in the world. He's the player that they'll fear the most today. And it's just a little earlier. He's playing alongside Scott Brown. Managed to keep it just on the back of the screen. That's what Ian Baker Finch was referring to, that speed in the greens. firmness, and they will catch a few players out today.
Yeah, especially those down grain ones, Frank. They're just so lightning fast.
Gomez back at the 7th. Grew up in the same town in Argentina as the former PGA Tour player Jose Caceres, who Fabian says was a mentor for him.
And they both reside now, Billy, in Buenos Aires, just 5 homes apart, so they still continue to practice together when they're home. Caceres plays on the Champions Tour now. He's 51.
Well, a good chance here. This will be a really quick putt downhill. Not a lot of break.
David, the guys get so tentative on the down grain putts, don't they? It's hard to accelerate through at times. They get so slippery on the edges.
Well, yeah, and you know you're going to have a putt into the green, you know, coming back, which is, you don't want those tap ins.
To 8.
Scott Brown risking dropping another shot further behind. Oh, good putt at the right time. So just that one bogey back at 5, but you never know. Back to the leaders.
Well, you know, I was wondering why this ball took so long to get to where it is now. It actually collided with the big oak tree short right of the green, rattled around in there and got burped out to there. So, well, you could take advantage of a break here.
Yeah, that would be a great break. And putting down grain, just get it on the line and let it roll in. That's a bonus.
He has putted well this week. 26 putts and shooting 67 yesterday. Said he started to really find his game a couple of weeks ago at the AT&T Byron Nelson when he got it into the 60s for his last 3 rounds. Started feeling confident with the putter. At 15, back to Phil.
Drew a very bare lie over here, just short left of the green. No chance of chipping it.
Wow, lovely effort there from Phil. Wise decision to putt it from around the greens when the fringes and surrounds are so short and bare and dry. Hard to get a good lie out there, Rich, when the greens are so firm and fast to chip to as well.
Win this, Phil.
So Phil Mickelson, 3 under for his final round, but everyone in pursuit of Greg Owen, who has now opened up a 2-shot advantage, trying to win for the first time on the PGA Tour. Take a look once again at the bomb from Phil to get it to 6 under.
Well, we're back. Greg Owen got a little 2-shot cushion at the moment.
Into a nice breeze now.
Go at that too hard. Oh, obviously not hard enough.
Oh. Breeze wasn't as nice as I thought.
A little more information about TPC Southwind. Par is 70. They redid the course about 10 years ago. Original design by Ron Pritchard. Hubert Green and Fuzzy Zeller acted as consultants. It opened in 1988. Tournament moved here in 1989. Tournament record 61. Shot twice, but not since the course was changed. Fabian Gomez back at 8.
If he learnt from Greg Owens, he came up well short.
Well, that was the same club.
He flew it all the way there, David. Certainly a better place to putt from slightly uphill as we go forward to 9.
Here's Matt Jones, who played himself into contention yesterday. This for birdie. There you go, just like Mickelson a short time ago. Pulls that in from a healthy distance, so out in 34, finding red figures, and he's at -7. Let's go to Phil at the 16th. All in
all-important tee shot here for Phil. Put it in the fairway. This is a birdie or eagle hole. He's staring at it. That is going to be just fine, thank you very much. He'll have a mid to short iron in at 16.
Well,
back to 8.
Greg Owen, not normally good from the sand, but yesterday, David, 4 for 4.
Ooh. Well, this one's not a difficult one. A little on the upslope, plenty of green to work with. He didn't get all of that. Just a little too far behind it.
So far this week, from 10 feet, he's been good. We'll see what happens there as we go up to 9.
Brooks Koepka, 1 under today.
Just appears a little bit amped up, a little bit fired up. To me, he's been long a number of times with his approaches to the green so far today. And an interesting observation for you, watching the last 10 holes, 8 of the last 10 holes have water in play, and that's another reason why we see lots of drama in the closing stages. Long again. That adrenaline can make a big difference.
He hit 80% of his greens in the first 2 rounds, but really has struggled a bit over the last couple of days. Here's Patrick Rogers finishing up. Runner-up at the Wells Fargo a few weeks ago. Tied for 40th last week at Memorial, so that secured his status for the rest of the season on the PGA Tour. Stanford great. 3 under, out in 32, but home in 37.
Yes, he really got under quite a bit of pressure last Sunday. He birdied the last 2 holes to secure that number of points.
Back to 8.
And Greg Owen has not lost his turn.
Well, almost straight across the green here from left to right.
Oh, what a save.
5 for 5.
Yeah, potential there of a 2-shot swing. Of course, if you followed Greg's career over the years, 214 events so far winless, been close many a time. That second back in 2006 at Bay Hill. Needs a little help too. Currently 172nd on the FedEx Cup rank. So needs a good week here for several reasons. He's a fun guy over dinner, though, and was an excellent tennis player. Now, Gomez.
Well, I read that last one like a Russian newspaper. And, yes, this one I thought was pretty straight, to be honest with you. It's and a really holeable. Little up the hill. Sort of one you're disappointed if you miss.
There's already been 15 birdies here today. I'll make it 16. So 1 behind Owen now, as they head to the difficult 9th. A nice little tussle. And on top, 43-year-old Englishman looking for his first win. Leads the FedEx St. Jude Classic here in Memphis. Now, they say it's the home of the blues and the house of rock and roll. There's only one Elvis, though.
We're back at 16, 210 yards for Phil Mickelson. This is a 6-iron. Oh, very nicely balanced swing. Staring it down again. And Phil Mickelson will have that left for eagle to get to -8. Trying to play his way into form. Two kinds of players. Players who like to practice their way into majors and players who like to play their way into majors. Phil likes to play his way in. Let's go back to 9T.
Fabian Gomez.
Yes, if you play well the week before, it's a good idea. But if you play poorly the week before, it can work in the opposite direction. That's...
Yes, back to the tee at the 9th. Greg Owen, who's played this in level par this week. Our leader by 1 at 11 under.
Good choice of club, 3-wood. Oh.
Pointing left.
Yeah.
Wow, that's way left. That's down near the first fairway. That's an unusual one for him, David.
Well, for anybody, really?
Yeah, but I mean, he nails that 3-wood with nice and low with a little draw usually, and that's 50 yards left.
It is, yeah.
You're just a little uncomfortable there for whatever reason. Down breeze too. And take a look at this. It sets the club nicely. Doesn't get the club all the way back, and sometimes gets a little bit short. Fraction shut. And then for whatever reason, a little fear at the bottom and roll the wrists over, whatever causes that little bit of a flip to the left. Unusual for Greg Owen.
Well, earlier we had a chance for Peter Kostis to take a look at one of the better swings from Greg Owen.
I want to use the Konica Minolta BizHub Swing Vision camera and the golf swing of Greg Owen to show you a fundamental that I really think is important in the golf swing. I've got a shaft plane line and a shoulder plane line from address. Now, you really want your golf swing to occur someplace in that piece of pie. And Greg Owens does a great job of this. As he takes the club back, he traced the shaft plane line in the beginning, gets his hands right in the middle of that piece of pie, starts them back down to the golf ball, right again in the middle of that piece of pie, and look at impact. Shoulders square to the line, hips cleared beautifully, and as he goes on through impact, you're going to see everything exit right again from the middle of that piece of pie. So if you can get your golf swing in between your shaft plane and your shoulder plane at all times, you're going to be a consistent ball striker like Greg Owen. Now live at 16, Phil Mickelson for his eagle. Already had 4 of them this year, Phil has. Yeah. However this turns out this weekend, I think he's going to go into Chambers Bay in a good frame of mind, trending in the right direction for arguably the most important week of his entire year. A chance to complete the Grand Slam.
Here's Brooks Koepka at the 9th. Went on to make bogey there, so he drops back to -8. And now we're back live.
This is not pretty at all here. He's got a little oak tree in front of him. He's got to get it up quickly over that. 188 yards to the hole, and it would not surprise me at all if he plays this deliberately to the right of the green. 178 to carry the water. You know, I'm not sure that I wouldn't just blow this out to the right to be safe.
I agree totally, David. Maybe a little draw and get it to the the back right edge if you're lucky, but do not hit it in the water.
Yeah, that's what he went for. It is actually as far right as left as he was. I'm not sure if I made contact with somebody, but
it hit some branches, David, and dropped down.
That won't be easy from there either, from the rough. Didn't get it far enough down to get past all the water.
Fabian Gomez has been watching this. Currently just 1 behind.
Oh, he has 150 yards to carry the water, 160 to the hole.
Yeah, you can see a 2-shot swing right here. Applied the pressure with a good iron shot. Greg Owen has to make sure that he just shakes that off and doesn't get down on himself. Just a couple of bad shots. He doesn't hit many bad shots. It'll be a bit of a shock for him.
This is 9-iron.
Holding the finish, and that's an excellent shot. Just about hole high. Birdie opportunity upcoming while our leader is struggling at the 9th. Final round of the FedEx St. Jude Classic from Memphis. And we are back in Memphis, TPC Southwind, final round of the FedEx St. Jude Classic. Our leader, Greg Owen, in some trouble as he plays the par 4 9th.
Well, it's nice in the shade. That's about it. Got to go deliberately to the right of the hole. Couldn't take the chance to go on across the water there.
Yeah, he was obviously trying to get it a lot further up, David, wasn't he, to have a better angle at that flag.
Yeah, there was a resodded area there and kind of dusty and hard and nasty.
Want to know who's in and who's out of the FedEx Cup playoff race? Follow along with live projected FedEx Cup point standings only on PGATour.com. And a look at the standings and the projected rankings. Green means that the player would qualify for the playoffs for the FedEx Cup. And big move from Greg Owen. If he were to hang on to win, he'd go from 172 all the way to 59. A big jump for Fabian Gomez as well to 65. Brooks Koepka would move to 14.
Really just goes to show how much it means to those two guys at the top, how big a change it is in their lives.
To 17
with a win.
Mickelson really using the extreme edge of those tee box. It doesn't work. That's just the third fairway Phil's missed today. He's driven it pretty good. To 10.
Second shot for Brooks Koepka. A lot of body rotation on that swing. When you over rotate, sometimes you can hang it out to the right, and that's what he's done. He will not have a lot of options here. He's going to have to go high or go left for his third shot. Let's go back to 9.
And Greg Owen now just trying to limit the damage after that Aaron 3-wood, David, off the tee.
Yeah, this would be a good 5, Billy. Up to the uphill to the spine here, and then shiny down to the hole.
Beautifully done. Very nice putt. Got it in there inside 3 feet. You know, it was right on line as well. Didn't need much more to challenge the cup.
What a good week it's been for Bryson DeChambeau, the first amateur to make the cut here since David Gossett in 1998, the NCAA champion, playing for SMU, qualified for the U.S. Open on Monday in Columbus. So he's had a fairly full week.
Yeah, big week in his young career. Well done. Even par around a tough golf course. Unique style of player.
There he is with the individual national championship trophy she captured this year. As we go back over to 9, and here's Gomez, this for birdie to go to 11 under.
Another good chance just outside the left.
Nice smooth stroke as well. Good rhythm and timing to it.
Tied for 15th here in 2011, then missed the cut in his only other appearance in 2013. So he remains at -10. It's been very, very steady throughout the week. 66 to open, then a 68 on Friday, 67 yesterday. Greg Owen giving this a good look.
Yes, well, he led the field the first 3 days in putts hole inside 10 feet. He's been putting beautifully. Spoke to him earlier. So his short game's been so much better than normal, which has complemented his long game.
So he'll drop one, and we're back to co-leaders at 10 under.
You know, he's just got to shake that off, Bill. There's a tough golf course here. There's lots of bogeys out there. One bogey isn't the end of the world.
Ahead to 17.
Well, John Merrick's already played, and Rich, does Phil have a shot from here?
always has a shot, doesn't he, Frank? I mean, he's the good thing is he's got a good enough lie where he can catch enough of the golf ball to make it spin. He should be hitting a low draw here. Got a 6-iron in his hands, but has to keep it very low to miss those trees, and probably has to work it a good 30 yards.
Fortunately, a little on the upslope.
Let's take a look at our FedEx Cup summary for Phil. His best FedEx Cup finishes. He was the runner-up in 2009, third back in 07, finished 5th in 2012. Currently, he's ranked 59th. Take a look at our current FedEx Cup point standings. Jordan Spieth, followed by Jimmy Walker, Rory McIlroy, Charlie Hoffman's there, Patrick Reed, J.B. Holmes, who's had a tremendous year as well. So Phil Mickelson, all in all, a pretty good day for Phil. 3 under par for his final round. Fabian Gomez trying to win for the first time on the PGA Tour. So is Greg Owen. A lot on the line here in Memphis at the FedEx St. Jude Classic.
Well, we're back at 17. Mickelson has sized this up.
The lie's okay. I don't know if we're going to see him throw it way up in the air. I think he might hit a little bit lower shot and maybe try and bounce it through the rough a little bit. Nope, goes upstairs with it.
How does it stop? Excuse me.
Genius. He makes that shot appear so easy, doesn't he, Frank?
It does. I mean, Rich was saying that wasn't exactly the best of lies. Now it's the easiest of fours. He's in a tie for 4th. Game's heading in the right direction. Another look at this. Plays it relatively quickly too. Brisk. You say he was unlucky. Now to 10.
Well, this was moments ago at 10. Looks like Brooks Koepka trying to go high. Oh, terrific. Absolutely terrific shot by Brooks right there. He will need to start making some of those for birdies if he's going to put some pressure on our leaders. Back to Matt Jones.
Trying to make a move, Peter. And does so. And he can roll it, that's for sure. He did a great description of push-pull in the golf swing yesterday. Matt Jones is one for that. Right-armed swings as we go back to 10.
All right, for par to stay at -8, 2 shots back. Very aggressive acceleration on that one. So he avoids back-to-back bogeys with his par save at 10. Brooks Koepka -8. Greg Owen and Fabian Gomez atop the leaderboard at -10.
And we are back. Final round of the FedEx St. Jude Classic here on CBS. Phil Mickelson has reached the 72nd hole. He's at -7, 4 under for his final round.
Hit 3-iron first 3 rounds around here, and just going with a 3-wood. Maybe drive a little bit deeper into the fairway, give himself a better angle for his second shot.
Yeah, he is trying to make a birdie, that's for sure. Hang up. Very aggressive line. I think that rough's thick enough on the corner that may have stayed up. Yeah, there you go. That has stayed up.
And that just says Phil Mickelson right there. I don't think he wanted it to be quite that close to the edge.
The question is, what's he going to do on his second shot? We'll have to stay tuned for that. Now back at 10.
My guess is he'll go for it.
Yeah, just skip it across the water. No one
Whatever, yeah.
There you go. Missed a couple of greens on 8 and 9. Got it up and down 1 of 2 times. Greg Owen. Here's the deal. Greg Owen's a pretty good ball striker. He's always fought the putter. That's why he's here this week. His putting stats are spectacular.
That's an 8-iron. Good looking shot.
All right, that's just what you would expect from Greg. Got it right beneath the hole, trying to hold it, stay there. It's going to funnel back toward that low part of the green, however. Always had difficulty handling the pressure coming down the stretch. Well, hopefully he'll get that conquered today. This was earlier Fabian Gomez, David.
With a 5-iron from 214 yards back.
It's a long way back. Very nicely done. Make birdie at 10, that's a bonus. You want to get your par and get on out of here. And the back nine's playing probably the easiest it's played all week long, so these guys will have to move forward.
Here's Russell Knox earlier, this for birdie.
Yeah, it just does not come back. You see the grain there, the worn edge of the hole.
That was for 65, so he'll tap in for 66.
Good week, good finish.
And one of the traditions here is for the children of St. Jude to serve as honorary pin caddies at the 18th. That's Caleb, who was born with a rare genetic condition called Hurler syndrome. He's been a patient at St. Jude since he was 13 months old. His treatment has included chemotherapy, radiation treatment, multiple surgeries, bone marrow transplant, and yet he came out, he waved to everybody, smiled, he's checking out the autograph. There you go. Just so inspirational.
It certainly
being
is.
around these kids.
Great stuff.
Just remarkable. 211.
Koepka. Good tee shot, uphill putt. Done that on a continual basis today. Shaved the edge. Stuck an even par for the round. Good news is he hasn't really lost any ground on the leaders. Interesting finish coming up too. There's enough water in play. It's a 10.
And the birdie putt for Fabian.
It's just in the squeaky distance there.
Yeah, that'll get his full attention, David. How's his demeanor looked?
Pretty
while you've
good.
been walking one?
I have to say, calm, collected, not cool. I don't think anybody's cool out here. Sweaty.
Got a great pair of hands in his golf swing. All the Argentinian golfers who make it to the PGA Tour, I think, have a great pair of hands. They learn the game a little differently down there, a little more old school.
The thing I like, Peter, is the older players have all been great mentors for the young guys like this coming through, like Caceres we've mentioned, Angel Cabrera, Eduardo Romero.
Started with Roberto Di Vincenzo. There's the ball of Phil Mickelson still there. It's going to be on a severe downslope.
Good for the left-hander.
He can remove that stake, should he need to. I guess it's probably a little bit easier shot for a left-hander.
Yeah, it can fade it in there, Peter. It can take it over that stake in the distance and just hold it off, take it back to that back left pin.
I guess that's the definition of cutting the corner. Now Greg Owen back at 10.
A little right to left up the hill, straightening at the end.
Exactly what it did, David. No 3 putts for the week. He's made 59 of 61 putts inside of 10 feet, and he is 6.7 strokes gained putting better than his average. You think he's putting any better this week? Let's go to 12.
Here's Matt Jones, who's putted very well today and making this move. Another birdie try.
Just a little bit frisky there, a little bit firm.
He's only 2 behind, 2 under for his final round.
Another player, no stranger to the hot conditions.
And the golf course is quietly winning here.
It'll be interesting to watch the back nine, David, because it's playing the easiest it's played all week long. So they've obviously been a little bit more accommodating with the pin placements. All right. Greg Owen starts the back nine with a par at 10. Two under for the day. That's not bad when you're protecting the lead. Any insight to this putt, David?
You know, I don't think there's a whole lot in it. It was right to left. You know, the grain is actually the other way here, left to right. I don't think it can go left on him.
Just watch the bill of his cap. Kept it nice and steady until after the strike. Safely in for Fabian, so he is at -10 to 12.
Koepka back on the tee.
Water right.
Just under 400 yards.
Oh. And that has found it, Bill.
Why'd you say that, Ian?
Well,
he was perfectly okay until you said water right.
That was the announcer curse. I'm sorry about that.
Well, what we just saw, that is not an unusual occurrence here. We've the sound effects and everything, and the graphic to prove it. It's not even close.
No.
Take a look, 4,255 since 2003.
Amazing. People wouldn't realize that, but there is a lot of water on this course. 8 of the last 10 holes. And that 12th hole, that's what I was referencing.
Since 2003, coming into the week, holes with the most balls in the water. TPC Scottsdale, the 15th. At Quail Hollow, it's the 7th. And here, 12 and 18. And, of course, the 18th hole, that just decided some championships over the years. Here's Brooks Koepka, the 25-year-old former All-American at Florida State. Started the weekend with a one-shot advantage.
He's got to drop it a long way back now as well.
Right now he's 2 behind. So now Phil, and this is where being a lefty with the stance that he'll have will certainly be an advantage.
It will be. Not on such a severe downslope as it looks on TV, but it's still a downslope nonetheless. I think the problem here that he's going to have is getting the ball high enough, because if not, that wind will knock it down in a hurry, bringing that front left water into play.
Very nicely done. 20 feet for birdie. It could quite easily have taken a little bit more of a kick towards the cup and rolled up closer as well.
Well, he likes playing the week before a major, and he's gotten some confidence after a tough week last week at Memorial. 211.
8 iron on the way.
Unusually large bounce here at 11. Now Greg Owen.
Also with 8.
Also gets the kick forward. It's been 54 balls all week have found the water here. Those 2 are dry.
Well, it's time now for Fantasy Golf. Driven by Avis, and Ian, Greg Owen has put up some pretty good numbers this week, trying to win for the first time on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, he certainly has. Look at that, scrambling and putting inside 10 feet. That's unusual for Greg. That is some really good statistics. When you're high up in putting and greens and regulation, that's a pretty good formula.
How is your fantasy golf team doing? You can play fantasy golf driven by Avis, where every shot truly matters. Back to the 18th green. Phil Mickelson finishing up. Got out to a quick start earlier today. There's Allison. She's one of the honorary pin caddies at 18. She's from Tennessee, patient at St. Jude.
Very nice. Bones Mackay handing her the flag, just asking to hold that for Phil. Good girl.
Players, many of them go to the hospital during this week to visit with the children, the patients from St. Jude. A lot of them come out here to watch the players, to be a part of the tournament.
And you see there Phil and Bones really taking a real good look at this from all angles, get a feel for it. See the grain, see the color, check the cup and see where the grain's running down the slope there. Get a good feel for it from this distance. That's what they're looking for.
That's a great point. He's looked at it from every angle, kind of taken everything into account. Not blowing hard enough for that to affect it really, but it looks like once this golf ball starts slowing down, maybe about 6 feet out, and it's going to start really peeling down towards the water to the left. Speed is just, I think, crucial to make this putt.
And the speed was perfect. What an unbelievable birdie for Phil Mickelson.
That's a good way to begin your trip out to Chambers Bay in the U.S. Open.
You never know. 8 under might just be good enough as well. It's has a 2-shot deficit right now.
What's your name? Allison, it's nice to meet you. Here's a souvenir for you. And I've got one more thing too. Okay, let me sign this for you before I give it to you. Okay, give up there.
No one better with the fans than Phil Mickelson. And what a way to finish. An unbelievable up and down for his par at 17 after a birdie at 16. And then the 25-footer there at the last for another birdie to get to 8 under par.
We're wishing you the best of luck, you know that? Got a lot of people pulling.
Good man.
So Phil shoots a 65. Allison has the caddy bib, which takes up most of her. And that confidence that he didn't have last week, he's going to have a whole bunch of as the week begins just southwest of Tacoma.
Great decision to come play and find a little bit of a spark to take him to the U.S. Open. Can he win it this year?
211.
Greg Owen from 20 feet. Well, we talk about how well he's putted this week. He's actually only made one putt outside 15 feet. Now this is live. Gomez to get ahead. And no problem doing so. So the Argentinian, as we talked about, following in the footsteps, Cabrera. He would love to win here. Here's Mentor, Caceres. I'm sure he's watching right now as well. Now Greg Owen is the chaser. So far this week, this part has been rock solid. No harm with 3. So Gomez with that 2 takes that 1-shot lead. But what a way to finish though for Mickelson. Huge putt at 14, and well, you could say that was nearly just as important at 18. You leave here shooting 65 on Sunday. maybe he'll take a little bit of St. Jude karma with him next week, because at this stage it thought maybe not, and then maybe.
And Patrick Fitzgerald, who's the Senior Vice President for Integrated Marketing and Communications for FedEx, joins us. Great to have you with us. Thanks for a wonderful week. We've had such a good time.
Well, thank you, Bill. It's been a real thrill all week.
And you've signed an extension to sponsor the event through 2017. What's important about the relationship, not only with the PGA Tour, but also with St. Jude?
Well, this is really one of the most important events we do all year. It's actually our oldest sponsorship, and we're excited to extend it through 2017. And it really is all about supporting St. Jude and the kids and all that the hospital does for kids around the world in treating pediatric cancer.
Seems like the one we just saw, a big part of the week, make it so memorable for everyone.
That's right.
We're about 2/3 of the way through the regular season, the playoffs for the FedEx Cup. What are your thoughts going forward? Also, obviously, FedEx a big part of the PGA Tour week in and week out.
Yeah, so this is the timing of this tournament is really key because it marks the 10-week stretch run going into the playoffs. Billy Horschel, who's performing very well today and through the tournament this week, our current FedEx Cup champion, he really showed the way last year that if you get the momentum at the right time going into the playoffs, you can lead right into the ultimate prize, which is the FedEx Cup.
Well, from all of us, thank you very much for your hospitality this week.
Thank you, and thank you for everything you do.
All right, Patrick Fitzgerald. And throughout the golf course, you see the signage almost everywhere. St. Jude gives hope. We love St. Jude. We can echo those sentiments here at CBS Sports. And as we go back out to the tee at 12, and here's Fabian Gomez, our outright leader right now at 11 under.
Well, that one won't hurt him.
And this was earlier at the 12th. Remember, Koepka found the water, so this was for par. So he went on to make bogey. Dropping back once again. Now Greg Owen on the tee at the 12th.
Great view from behind the tee here of what the players face. Extremely intimidating tee shot.
Well, he doesn't like that view. Oh. And he is going to have to drop that, I believe, up there in the Bermuda rough, and that's going to leave him a nightmare of a third shot.
Back at 17 after a really good second shot from 171 yards. So you'll know, making a huge move up the leaderboard. And under that ties Mickelson already in the clubhouse. Matt Jones still on the golf course. Speaking of Matt Jones, back at 13.
This for birdie to get to -9. Can't count this young man out either. Oh, yes. Matt Jones, 2 under on the inward half, gets to -9, 2 shots behind Fabian Gomez. And we'll go back to Mr. Owen at 12.
Well, he has got 175 yards. Dropped it. It's not in that long, rough that we're going to sit down and bury in it, but keeping this over the water and not off the back edge of the green would be a heck of a shot.
Yeah, it'd be getting it on the surface here. Anywhere on the surface, it'd be a 10 out of 10 result. This is a hard shot. Firm greens. Get the right club. Must make sure he gets over that water, David.
Well, he's got 6 iron, which should be plenty. The problem is if it jumps at all, it's screaming through the bag.
Just has to shake that one off, shake that bad drive off, and hit a good one here. Okay, carried the front. Will it stop? Settle down. There's water over the back. Oh, okay. A treacherous up and down there, though, for bogey.
Let's take a look at what happened back on the tee. Obviously frustrated, and that club pays the price. And take a look, he's still got the hosel and then the club head in his right hand.
Oh, that was silly.
Here's Fabian Gomez. The second shot.
135 yards.
Good
looking effort.
Going in trouble. He can, David, extend his lead.
Yeah, apply the pressure right now. I mean, that was a terrible mistake to allow the pressure of the situation to get to him like that.
So Fabian Gomez safely on at 12, currently with a one-shot advantage at 11 under.
Little stubby Bermuda lie. Makes it more interesting.
Now Koepka at 13. This time a good tee shot. Treble back there. Time to take advantage. Tremendous shot by Koepka. So -7, par 5 to come. A few holes time. Things as usual starting to change. Now up ahead, Matt Jones. I'd like to think, even though it's a 7-iron, you'd fire a little left of this flag. It is dangerous. Oh, instead, right over the top. So Matt Jones, currently 9 under, will have a putt to get to 10. Meanwhile, Owen, all sorts of problems back at 11. FedEx St. Jude Classic, it's warming up just like the weather here.
We are back in a moment ago at the 12. Fabian Gomez for birdie to get it to 12 under.
Good speed. Hard to be aggressive there. Down grain towards the end and very slippery.
4 international wins, 1 on the web.com tour for Gomez. Put together a solid week, Ian.
Yes, he certainly has, hasn't he? 11 under par. He'll be leading the way by 2 over Jones.
13.
We saw his approach shot. This for birdie. All right, Brooks Koepka getting it to -8. A lot of firepower in his game. A lot of holes that can be taken advantage of with good shots. So he's not out of it yet. Let's go back to 12.
Here's Greg Owen for bogey.
Wow, what an up and down there after the disappointment at the tee shot.
And he had to regroup quickly, otherwise things could have gotten away from him in a hurry. And let's go down to Rich Beam now, who's with Phil Mickelson. Rich?
Thank you very much, Bill. Here, Phil, nice round today. 8 birdies on the card. I kind of sensed yesterday in our interview that you were a little, frustrated, I guess, with your game would be a good word. Not making as many putts, not making as many birdies today. How do you feel about after your round today?
Yeah, this was a good day. I mean, I played really well today, and looking back, there were still 3, 4, 5 shots that I felt like I left out there, but I really hit a lot of good shots. I made a lot of birdies. I made some good putts, and more importantly, I was able to control the miss for the most part on where I wanted it to go, and it feels good. I hit a lot of good iron shots the way I wanted to, and ended up making some good birdies, and it was a fun day.
Well, you made a really nice long one on 14, but the one on 18 as well. It just looked like you had to have perfect line, perfect speed, and it just fell in dead for you.
Yes, it looked to me like it was going to go right in the center. It tried to wiggle out, and it did kind of a 360 around the cup, and I'd had a couple that earlier in the week that had done kind of that and not gone, and I just thought, how is this going to miss? And it went in. That was a nice feeling to see that ball drop.
Absolutely. You've already been to Chambers Bay earlier, and thoughts on it, preparation-wise, what's going to happen for you next week?
Well, I really like the golf course. I think what Mike Davis said a few weeks ago is really true, in that if you're going to be ready for this tournament, it takes a lot more time to learn the golf course than just a couple of days. And if you're having to use Monday through Wednesday to do that, you're not putting that effort into your own game. And so I'm pleased that I've developed kind of a game plan for each hole on how I'm going to get to the certain pins, and I'll be able to go. I'm going to go back home tonight and spend the day practicing in San Diego, working on a lot of those shots, and then I'll get up there tomorrow night and put it to work on the practice rounds Tuesday and Wednesday. But I really like the golf course, and I think that it's a special course in that there's a lot of different ways to play shots to a lot of different pins, and if you play the highest percentage shot, it's not a hard golf course, but if you don't know what that shot is, you play the wrong one, there's a lot of penalty there.
Well, nice round today to finish off the FedEx St. Jude Classic, and good luck to you next week at the U.S. Open.
Thanks, Rich.
All right, Rich, take a look at what Phil has done playing in the FedEx St. Jude Classic and the U.S. Open in the same year. Runner-up here in 2013, also runner-up finish at the U.S. Open. 09, runner-up as well. Of course, Phil 6 times a U.S. Open runner-up. He'll be in the 4th grouping. He'll play early on Thursday, going off the first tee, 7:33 a.m., playing with Bubba Watson and Angel Cabrera. At the 18th, soon you'll know, for birdie.
It'll be an exciting grouping to watch. This young man can really play as well. Soon you'll know. Already a winner out here on tour. Great game.
He's 5 under for his final round, 14.
Matt Jones birdied 4 of his last 6 holes.
Very aggressive player, isn't he, Frank? That was an aggressive tee shot.
Oh, right over the top of the flag, Ian. Unusual for him. He normally, from 10 feet, it always looked like they were always going to catch at least a piece of the hole, but short par 4, par 5, well, anything can happen to 18.
Finishes with par. So out in 32. One-time winner on the PGA Tour, and good week for Soon You'll Know, and a really nice week for Phil Mickelson, with one of the kids from St. Jude, as he concluded his final round.
While that was being played, this was Greg Owen at 13 with a 7-iron from the fairway bunker. Yeah, he's struggling to regain his composure. Now Fabian Gomez.
It's an 8-iron from 160.
Tell you, after watching that help me Costas, David, and watching all the kids out here, if you can't find your perspective as a player this week in Memphis, you're hopeless, because all the battles these guys have pale in comparison, don't they?
At 14, Koepka. He likes to play it left to right, but he was shrugging that off, and I'd say it could very well be game over. Remember, he rinsed one at 12 and battling now at 14, up ahead to 15.
Well, Matt Jones has been steadily working his way up the leaderboard.
Just somewhere on the green would be good from the rough there.
Right now he shares second, 2 behind Fabian Gomez.
No damage there.
13.
Birdie putt for Greg Owen.
A little up the hill, a little right to left.
Boy, he had that tracking, just lacked a bit of speed. But I tell you what, regardless of what happens this week for Greg Owen, if he can maintain this putting form, that's going to revolutionize the rest of his career, because he's just not been able to get the ball in the hole with the putter as well as he's been able to get it on the green with his full swing.
Yeah, it'll really help him, Peter. He just has to stop getting so down on himself when things go bad, because he has the talent.
To 18.
Here's Michael Thompson trying to finish at 8 under.
Another one at 8. And he's made it. What a way to finish there for Michael Thompson. So we now have 3 players in the clubhouse at 8 under par.
And take a look at that finish. Eagle, birdie, birdie. 30 coming in, and he plays all 4 rounds in the 60s this week.
He could sell that 3-3-3 finish to a number of players.
Wow, could he ever?
Well, just like Greg Owen, Fabian Gomez lacks a little speed on his birdie putt. But I like him right now. His demeanor hasn't changed. His tempo's the same. His tension level's the same. Those are the things you look for under pressure to see if the pressure is getting to a player. And There's no sign of it with Fabian. He has a 2-shot lead right now in the final round of the FedEx St. Jude Classic.
As we welcome you back once again to the final round of the FedEx St. Jude Classic, and here's Matt Jones at the 15th. Barely Ian got that going, and it comes up about 4 to 5 feet short.
Yeah, he went with the hinge and hold with the lob wedge. I thought he might have just putted that down that hill. Means his nerves are good.
Back to 14.
Well, you can see where the flag is. Everything's in play here. Already 14 balls in the water, and currently the second hardest hole on the golf course.
Frank, there's just nowhere to bail out here. You don't want to go long left because it's an impossible up and down. You've got to hit it where Phil Mickelson hit it, and fortunately for him, he holed it. But 2 putts is good from way left.
Yeah, you're right. That's like a club short in line with the bunkers. A comfortable pass at it. Yeah, that's exactly what you were talking about, Ian.
Yeah, I think that's the aiming point. I really do.
So he mightn't have won on the PGA Tour, but he's won just about everywhere else. And web.com, they all count, and they give you confidence. It was very, very close, that Puerto Rico Open a couple of years ago, and actually Matt Jones won that. And it was a 7-iron. He'll take a little go sideways. Now Greg Owen, time to recover. He is not out of it. But Ian looks like he's aiming more directly at the flag.
Exactly. He looks like he's having a go at it, and there's no real need to here. I think this is the hole that you're very happy to walk off with par.
Oh, and that's on the downslope. To 15.
Back to Matt Jones, the 35-year-old Aussie from Sydney, who was actually recruited by the University of Tennessee and unfortunately not able to get it up and down. So that will stop the momentum a bit. Bogey on the card. He gives one back.
He actually attended Arizona State Uni in the end.
Where he was an All-American for the Sun Devils back in 2001. Fabian Gomez trying to win for the first time out here. Our leader by 2.
Well, horrible predicament here for Greg Owen. Downhill lie. And you can see what's on the other side of the flag.
Well, it doesn't get much better than that, I'll tell you. Just keeping that out of the agua.
I'm sure he'd love to turn the clock back about half an hour. Start again. A little sprinkle from above. Might cool things down. Really, Fabian Gomez so far playing the right shots at the right time. So that's the 14th green. A little bit of rain, of course. No, that's the 11th. That's only 400 yards away or so. Wouldn't think there'd be any rain at all.
Well, one thing, but it's not making us any wetter than we already are.
It's cooled you down there, Dave.
A little bit.
Have you had a little look at this putt here from Gomez?
Well, it's he's standing on a slope here with the ball below his feet. So certainly left to right the first part. It's just down at the hole. Not sure if it doesn't straighten up a bit.
Right about now, you want as fewer thoughts as possible. Yeah. Well said. It's an excellent 3.
I know the Greens are going to be very grateful for that little sprinkle, Frank. A little bit of a drink. They're getting pretty firm and fast.
Yeah, you're right, Ian. They could do with him right now. Worst case scenario, he'll have a 2-shot lead with 4 to go and try to be the 5th international player to win the FedEx St. Jude Classic. Chris Gary player started that all those years ago, 41 years ago. Nick Price has done it twice, and Lee Westwood, the most recent. Could he be the 5th? Not quite a must-make, but more a confidence booster now for Greg Owen.
Yeah, this would be a heck of an up and down. I mean, just keeping it out of the water with a second shot was good. Not a lot of breaking this.
You know, Frank, coming down the stretch, I would have to think for Greg Owen mentally, being the chaser is better for him than being chased. He knows what he has to do. It's just a matter of physically executing now.
So you're saying hit the positive switch.
Well, he knows what he has to do rather than making all the decisions of protecting the lead.
So now the lead is 3. And you'll know it. There's quite a few of those already in the clubhouse. Matt Jones and Greg Owen.
Yeah, we're going to get you a visual.
Speaking of Matt Jones.
We're looking right past the edge of the tower. Right there. See the purple footer? Yep. Okay, right to here.
Rich Beam, you were there?
Yeah, Matt obviously drove it well to the right, but what he's got in front of him is basically a little stand, and he's getting line of sight relief from that. So it's still not going to be any bargain where he's dropping. There's still trees everywhere, and it's not the best of situations, but at least he's going to be able to advance the golf ball by taking relief from this tree, because if not, he was really just dead.
From one straight into another there. That's the tour official Steve Rintoul. Used to play the tour.
Meanwhile, Brooks Koepka at the 15th. There you go. Solid birdie putt.
Needed
after,
that.
Yeah, the double at the par 3 14th. So Koepka back to +1 for the day. He's at -7 in a pretty sizable group there. Our FedEx Cup game changer has fond memories of the FedEx St. Jude Classic. Last September, Billy Horschel reached the highest point so far in his young career, and the exhilaration hasn't worn off yet.
I'm happy to be a FedEx Cup champion, and that's never going to change. It's pretty special.
The win completed a career circle of sorts for Horschel, who got his start here in Memphis in 2009.
I just graduated college, and I was fortunate enough that people here at FedEx and St. Jude offered me a sponsor exemption, and I'm grateful.
Billy missed the cut that week and failed to qualify for the FedEx Cup playoffs until 2013. Throughout the struggles and successes that followed, Horschel hasn't forgotten where it all started.
It's a place that I plan on coming back to every year to be the FedEx Cup champion and have this event sponsored by FedEx as well. It holds a special place in my heart.
In Ireland. At the 15th, our leader, Fabian Gomez, currently with a 3-shot advantage.
Oh, that's a good break. Caught that tree and came back in the fairway.
That's in a spot of bother behind, I believe that's a hickory.
Well, here's Peter Costas with some advice on how you can improve your iron play.
If any of you at home are plagued with high, weak iron shots, pay attention to this Konica Minolta Biz Hub Swing Vision lesson. Now, most of you at home, you let the club get under the ball. You try to scoop and lift it in the air. The net result of that is contact will generally be out toward the toe. The club head passes the grip going through the hitting area, so you end up with this look. The club head is going through, the heel is leading, club face is wide open, net result is a spinning shot to the right. A little closer view of impact shows you the toe hit, and then as the club goes through, you're going to see the heel accelerate, the toe decelerate. That's what causes the high spinning shot to the right. Instead of that, I want you to visualize striking down as you go through the hitting area so that the grip is leading. By leaning the shaft forward, you're going to be able to strike a slight descending blow through the hitting area, and that's going to keep the club face a lot more square going through the hit. A closer view of impact, take note of how I have leaned the shaft forward. Now as it goes on through, the club face is going to stay a lot more square through the hitting area. So don't try to get under and let the club head pass your hands through the hitting area. If you want to hit crisper iron shots, lead with the handle and feel like you're striking a slight descending blow to get the ball in the air more solidly.
You're going to have to start giving me shots, Peter, I think, the way you're swinging it there.
Here's our leader after catching a tree.
Well, he has got to hook this with his gap wedge, probably about 7 or 8 yards, and a good looking effort.
Beautifully played. Should spin back as well.
That's a wonderful shot from there.
Just tremendous. It ends up just on the fringe.
Well, he had no option. He had to hit a hook around that tree.
He's our leader by 3 with 4 to play, and this was earlier Greg Owen.
Matty Jones.
Matt Jones, rather, excuse me.
That's Matt Jones at 16. And hit a great shot to this position. That rake looked like it kept it out of the bunker. Not the worst place he could be. Let's go back to 15.
And now we're ready for Greg Owen.
Just a pitching wedge, 130 yards.
From the rough, hard to spin it.
Yeah, that was his issue there. Good effort.
And now back to Matt Jones over at the 16th.
Now Matt Jones at 16. Not a particularly good lie, it didn't look like, Rich.
Yeah, that's not too bad. It's not sitting on a little bit of an upslope, but they got plenty of green to work with.
Well, he doesn't like the result. He'll have that left for his birdie to 15.
Well, the players know, Peter and Ian, that TPC Southwind can be really tough. It is played as the hardest among the 13 par 70 non-majors on tour in 2 of the last 3 years. Water in play, a number of holes and small greens that can dry out. Typically you don't get the benefit of a quick rainstorm like we had come through here about 5 minutes ago to cool things off a little bit, but it will definitely challenge you. While we wait, let's go back to the 16th.
All right, now to see if he can make his birdie and salvage all those other shots. Now, lacking in pace, disappointing par for Matt Jones. If he was going to make a move, it had to start here with this hole. Back to 15.
Downhill putt now. Fabian Gomez has to be a little careful with this one. And he was. Nice lag.
Ian, he'll take 4 after that tee shot.
Yeah, you know, he seemed quite relaxed and calm and polite on the range when I spoke to him, Peter. He's continued that theme throughout the day. He looks like nothing's really troubling him or bothering him. And by the way, his caddy there, Coco, is a barrel of laughs, he appears. So that might be a good thing, keeping him relaxed.
Leads by 3 now with 3 to play.
They're all fierce competitors, all of the fellas that I've met from Argentina. Cabrera is a tough competitor. Anders Romero, Eduardo, the older guy that I played a lot of golf with in Europe many years ago.
Greg Owen has to play the rest of this round without a 3-wood.
Yes, he may have needed that on the 15th tee here, and quite possibly at 17 and 18 as well. He'll have to go with the 2-iron or the driver now. This has been good, though. A good sign this week with the putter. And another one makes the bottom of the cup.
And he said, you know, I may not get many more opportunities like this. He said it's been a long time. His best PGA Tour finish came 9 years ago when he was second at the Arnold Palmer Invitational. His best result this season, a tie for 22nd at the Sanderson Farms last November. Now he trails by 2 shots. Fabian Gomez, the 36-year-old from Argentina, our leader, out to 16.
On the tee, Greg Owen. Leaning like he might have lost that out to the right. So we've seen him duck hook it on 9 and lose a couple to the right. It's really the same problem. His club path coming too much from the inside. Once he gets the blade flipped open, once he leaves it open. Now, third shot up ahead for Brooks Koepka. A little trouble off the tee. And he'll have that for his birdie at 16. Let's go to Matt Jones at 17.
And driver out, Peter. Takes no time. Mickelson, Sung Yul No, and Michael Thompson, they're in at -8. Just splits the fairway, and it's just over the crest of the hill. Back to 16.
Tee shot for Fabian Gomez. And good free-flowing motion of the club past his body, finishes in balance, and that's the result you would expect from a swing like that. Well positioned off the tee. And the birdie putt for Brooks Koepka. That runs out of speed as well to hold its line. So an errant tee shot, disappointing 5 at the 16th rather for Brooks.
He needed to take advantage of that one, Peter.
When you got his kind of power, that's a must. Now, Greg Owen. Is lie okay, David?
Well, it's not what he would want, Peter. Obviously, this is not the sort of green you want to try and run it onto.
Well, with the front hole location, he's got a chance to do that, however, if he can control the direction. So it's probably the most accessible hole placement on the green. Close up of that lie.
It's a horrible lie from looking at it from here to try and hit a 2-iron from.
And this is one you might want to squirt it with a hybrid or a 5-wood or something like that.
Yeah, that would be the plan, I believe.
Just waiting for the group ahead to clear. First PGA Tour wins here. Most recent, Harris English.
What about Mike Holbert right there? Our very own rules specialist here at CBS. And that was the first year that FedEx was the sponsor here, the main sponsor.
It's a golf course that I think is difficult for first-time winners to occur because I think you need to know which holes to attack, which ones to play away from. Now our leader, Fabian Gomez, second shot, David.
Well, he has 241 yards. Really a chance with this shot. Make the next 2 holes a lot easier. It's got a 2 hybrid.
Yeah, playing the last 2 with a 3-shot lead is a lot different than 2.
Well, it's just a touch left.
And that found the front bunker. Depending on the lie, that's not the worst place to be in. Could handle that shot if he has a decent stance and lie. Now Greg Owen.
He's got a very long iron out here and looking for a jumper, something that'll trundle up there. 238 yards.
220, 225 to the front edge. Look to be clean contact, although it's heading right, I believe.
Just a touch. Yeah.
Now that will be a little bit of an issue because I think that went up onto the upslope of the bunker, and he has a long bunker shot from there. All right, while they walk to the 16th green, let's go to 17 fairway.
Yeah, perfect drive for Matt Jones.
Just a 9-iron there.
Oh, Richie just would have liked another bounce forward, but still 25 feet uphill. But, well, some people just laze around in Memphis, Tennessee. I imagine he's listening to the blues. It's the home of the blues, isn't it? But right now, it's golden for Fabian Gomez. Two-shot lead.
We're back at 16, third shot. Greg Owen going for the low runner.
Oh, it's not the worst.
No, didn't quite react the way he wanted to, but that's okay. He's got a good chance of getting his 4 to 17.
Now Matt Jones trying to close the gap. And last few holes. A little expensive. Had a great run going. But he's at 8, 9, 11, 13.
Back out to 16.
All right, Fabian Gomez, his third shot. Reasonable lie. Ranked 288th in the world. Oh, what a brilliant effort that is. He's never played in a major championship. This could be a life changer, if he could hold on here.
Boy, he played that beautifully, Peter. Just lovely soft hands, let the club head do the work.
That's what I said earlier about the Argentinians there. They learn to control their hands first and then let the body apply the force to the hands and arms. I think they learn the golf swing the right way. It's an art form.
He'll be jumping up in the rankings too for selection for Argentina for the Olympics coming up in South America in Rio in 16.
You never know. You know, once you think you can, but until you do, you never know for sure, right, Ian?
Yeah, exactly. The doubts creep in at this level.
But he has looked unflappable. I mean, it's just, I am really impressed with his demeanor. Now, speaking of 288 in the world for Fabian Gomez, Greg Owen's 342, so this is a big putt for him as well.
Well, you've been here all day. Huh? I mean, the grain's telling me this one's going to go maybe, if anything, a little left, but the slope looks the other way.
And that's why it's a straight putt.
Aha!
The most difficult putt to read, right, David?
Slightly straight.
He tugged that right from the get-go. That was not one of his best strokes. So with his 5 and Gomez a virtual certainty to go to 12, that'll be a 3-shot lead over the last 2 holes. And that will calm his heartbeat a little bit, I would think. Birdie for Fabian, so he gets to minus 12, has a 3-shot lead going to 17T.
Give short guys some heart too, Peter. Lingworth last week at 5'7". Yeah. Gomez this week 5'8". Just goes to show, right?
He's not afraid of the moment. He shot 60 in a Web.com tour event last year, so he can definitely go low. Well, here's Peter Kostis now with a tip on how to get more out of your driver.
Great Jack Nicklaus uses feet and legs for power better than anybody in the history of the game of golf. Really getting off his left side, winding up his lower body, and creating tremendous power from the ground up. Now, we have a drill called the Nicklaus drill, or the baseball drill, if you will, that we're going to show you with our Konica Minolta BizHub Swing Vision camera that can help you learn how to use your feet and legs like Jack Nicklaus. You start from a normal starting position. Pick up your left leg in the backswing, and then just as you get to the top, you start to replant your lead leg into its original position to help you create a transition from the ground up. Then you strike through the golf ball, push off your right leg and onto your left side. learning to use your feet like that is critically important in the golf swing. Now in a full version, this is what it would look like. The left leg comes back, and just prior to the end of the backswing, you can see how much the shoulders have turned. But now what's going to happen? The backswing is going to continue a little bit more, and then the left leg is going to start to replant, to accept the forward swing. And then in that transition, that's where you have maximum force starting to be created from the ground up. As I start the downswing now, my left leg is in position to receive the forward swing. My right leg is still back. I haven't pushed off too soon. And the Nicklaus drill or the baseball drill can really help you learn how to use your lower body more effectively and create more power in your golf swing.
Yeah, you are definitely going to have to start giving me shots, Peter Costas. That swing's looking mighty fine.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, he's
he
working on some
pro.
good stuff. He should.
You forget how you putt.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I am.
The putter's the equalizer, Ian.
No playing, one putting.
Well, so far so good for Fabian Gomez. Driver in hand. And waving it straight.
That'll usually not hurt you.
It's getting a little closer to home.
Nothing's changed, Frank, has it? All day, the swing, the change of direction, it's beautiful.
He's managed to play the little game in between the ears, hasn't he, Ian?
Yes, he has, and that's something that Greg Owen has done better this week, although he's shown, you know, a couple of times when he hasn't. But Gio Valiente has been working with him, and he's done a remarkable job.
Also good. Some people might hit 3-wood here the last couple of days, but the club's out of commission on the 12th. You can only replace the club when it's broken in the course of normal play. Really the story, that's where it all changed, and Fabian Gomez took control. Now 218.
And Matt Jones a few moments ago, tee shot at the last.
With 3-wood, which is a popular choice of club up here as well, Frank. As you mentioned, Greg not having one to use here. Perfect drive.
He'll help himself. He came into the week 60th in the FedEx Cup points standings. Back to 17.
Scott Brown, been a bit of a rough day. Did birdie 16. Oh, this is moving. Oh, the flag. All of a sudden, birdie, and things look a little better for the 32-year-old who hails from that wonderful place, Augusta, Georgia. If that doesn't bring a smile to your face, nothing will.
He's a hard worker, that guy. One of the hardest workers out there. His coach, John Tillery, tells me.
Fortunately, the weather has helped. It was a threat maybe of a little pop-up. It seems to have gone away. But Fabian Gomez said trying to be the 5th international player to win here at the FedEx St. Jude Classic. Memphis has always been a great golfing town under the great Dr. Kerry Middlecoff. He won 3 majors, 40 events. This was his hometown. Mickelson, that round of 65, so it looks like he's well positioned heading to Chambers Bay.
Well, the U.S. Open begins just 4 days at Chambers Bay, just southwest of Tacoma. 25 players in the field here in Memphis qualified to play next week, including Phil, who right now is tied for 3rd. A strong finish here in Memphis. Of course, Ian 6 times a runner-up, and Peter Costas said he thinks this is one of the most important weeks certainly of the year for Phil, but maybe of his career, trying to complete the career Grand Slam.
Agreed. Another good group there. That'd be good fun to watch. Some fireworks.
Dustin Johnson, who withdrew after 9 holes here, citing illness, so hopefully will recover in time for next week. Martin Keimer, Gun Yang, the U.S. amateur champion, and Rory McIlroy.
Interesting to see how Rory McIlroy's game is after the 2 missed cuts in his last 2 events.
This is a pretty solid grouping. Jordan, Jason Day, and Justin Rose.
Justin Rose in great form, as well as Jordan Spieth, obviously.
They'll go late early, and then Tiger playing with Ricky Fowler and Louis Oosthuizen. And obviously, so much interest in Tiger, especially now, to see how he performs at Chambers Bay. Back to 17.
Well, our leader has 193 yards in here, Frankie, from the dead center of the fairway.
Well, anything sort of just slightly left of the flag, lower side of the green, David, you would think would be preferable.
Well, you would think that a good swing here, if he can make 4 on the last hole, although we've seen Robert Garrigus a few years ago, managed to, I think he ran up an 8th there.
Yes.
To get into a playoff. So anything can happen, but if you can keep it right of the water and out of the hospitality units.
Plus something safely on the deck will force Owen to go at the flag.
Yeah, head over there. It's Adrian Montero, Coco, who's given him 6 iron.
Starts off a little right.
Not much. Ooh, maybe he didn't quite catch it all.
This Bermuda rough. Always a little touchy to pitch or chip out of. Slight opening for Greg Owen now.
It's funny, winning is never easy. Even when it is. 8 for Greg.
Oh, another bounce, but still, it's not that far away from the flag. Up to the home hole.
And Matt Jones trying to finish with a birdie. Get in at -9.
Oh, looked good for a while, didn't it? He played well, but the damage was done. No birdie at 16. A poor drive there. Sort of took him out of any chance to post a good number.
He was hoping in for another miracle finish like that Wild when the Shell Houston Open last year got him into the field at the Masters. Made a 46-foot birdie putt on the 72nd hole. Got into a playoff with Matt Kuchar. Then holed a chip on the first hole of sudden death to win.
Yeah, that really was amazing. Matt Kuchar couldn't believe it.
Home in 34, 8 under for the week.
So 4 tied at 8 under in the clubhouse now.
Let's take a look now at our save of the day presented by Geico. It came at the 8th hole, and Greg Owen found the bunker off the tee on the par 3 and left himself this for par. Greg Owen with our save of the day presented by Geico. And now Fabian Gomez taking a look at what he has left.
And Bill, his only bogey of the day was back at 5. He took 3 from the front edge. Until now, he's been extremely tidy on and around the greens.
And he's got a lovely lie here, Frank. It's just as good as you could get in this Bermuda, sitting up. Just got to clip it off the top.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see here how the nerve is with the chipping. It's been good with the driver and the long irons and the putting. They're never easy, are they, Frank? These little pitches, you've got to land it just on. You don't want to land it on the fringe, on the downslope. It's you have to be quite precise.
Yeah, there's just enough fringe that he has to carry. He's going to go with the blade open.
How pretty was that?
Oh, beautiful.
Spectacular, really, with the pressure. That was a big shot for him.
That was perfect. I mean, there was no earth involved. Just clipped it.
We knew he hit it good too. The small had disappeared down the fairway. Seen back again. Now, Greg Owen. Yeah, flag's going to come out.
Yeah, and this one not lying so well. You may have to just hit that stubby little bump and run with this one. Let the bounce work for him.
The 17th hole at Bay Hill was cruel to him 9 years ago. Maybe 17's kind this time.
Another good effort.
Yes, he had a go, didn't he? He wasn't trying to get it close. He was trying to hold it.
Well, hopefully he doesn't have a little check at the leaderboard, which is to his right. There's 4 guys already finished at 8 under. So doesn't want to look that way. Just pop this in, and while we wait there, we'll go to 18.
Here's Brooks Koepka playing the last.
Needs a birdie to get into that tie up there at 8 under. They're just not bouncing up from that front section of the green. That was a pretty good shot. He would have thought that'd get a bit more of a bounce.
Yeah, expecting it to release, and it didn't. Back to 17.
It might look straightforward.
Inside left, Frank.
That's where he's aiming. Safely in. So here's a cushion on second, but it's a small one. He obviously spaced his coin out of Greg's line. So just one more to play, hopefully.
At the 18th, Scott Brown put it in the pond, so this is his 4th shot. And he'll have that left for bogey.
Lots of players tied up there as well. We've got 4 guys at 8 under, and then we have 6 at 7 under and 5 at 6 under. Very bunched top end of the leaderboard.
You see Gomez getting ready to play the 18th. Do so with a 3-shot advantage over Greg Owen.
Yeah, he just has to hit it way out to the right. Don't go anywhere near the water. Don't have to do anything special. Nice opportunity for Brooks here, though, if he could knock this one in for a long-range birdie, get it to 8.
And Gomez back on the tee, and you know, this is where we watch things change in a hurry for Robert Garrigus. That water has come into play so often. Dogleg around the pond here at the 18th. And Garrigus in 2010 took an 8, ultimately losing that 3-shot lead. So there is a big number here, but there's nothing in the demeanor of Gomez that we've seen that indicates that that's a possibility. He's just been very steady all day, only 1 bogey on the card.
Just making sure that he picks a precise line down the right-hand side. That's where he's aiming, down towards the bunkers at the right.
Yeah, you want to aim it down the right and then hit it right of that.
Let's see if he followed your advice.
Wow, just beautiful.
Yep, perfect.
That is absolutely perfect.
And that's really what he's done all day. 4 birdies, 1 bogey on the card. And he has just been remarkably steady.
Quiet, please.
Well, you may have heard some cheering in the background a moment ago. Let's look in on Brooks Koepka. And this is what prompted those cheers.
An amazing way to finish. A 40-footer on the last. Jumps up in there at 8 under par. Maybe 3rd at worst.
Round of 70. He was trying to join Jordan Spieth, Rory McIlroy, and Jimmy Walker as multiple winners on tour this year, but he'll have to settle for being in contention. That's Tyler, one of the St. Jude kids, getting an autograph and back on the tee. Here's Greg Owen
with the driver. Way down towards the bunkers is the ideal aim. A little draw would be a bonus.
And that will settle just short of that bunker. Well, Gomez is safely off the tee at the 18th and has a 3-shot lead here as we wind down at the FedEx St. Jude Classic. It's turned into a beautiful afternoon as we look from behind the green at the 18th. Back down the fairway. Greg Owen has found the rough to the right side. He won last year on the Web.com Tour, rallying from 7 shots back in the final round. In fact, at one point he was 10 shots back before staging the rally, but far different circumstances today as Gomez just did not falter.
That's an 8-iron. Greg wanders after that one. Almost had to.
Yeah, the old Gary Player finish. Beautiful shot. Well done. You know, just those couple of blemishes, David. The couple of the water shot and then the bogey at 14. Otherwise, he would have been right there.
Trying to follow in the footsteps of the great Roberto DiVincenzo, who's now 92 years old, who played in the inaugural Memphis Open back in 1958. He finished tied for 21st. That was played over at Colonial Country Club. But DiVincenzo won 8 times on tour and over 200 times worldwide.
Yeah, what a great man. See him every year. We play at St Andrews at the Open Championship. Roberto comes back with all the past champions.
Well, Fabian has 9-iron. A little over 160 yards.
Look for this in the front right corner of the green would be the wise play. No need to go left of center.
walking after that one too.
Beautifully done.
Yeah, he's done exactly what he needed to do today.
All day, just really, really smooth.
And with the win today, 500 FedEx Cup points, full exemption through the 2016-17 season. He will get into the Quicken Loans National, the PGA Championship, and the following spots, including the Masters next April. So a huge day, but players needed to finish in the top 60 after today to make it into the U.S. Open, and Gomez at 288 would not amass enough points to play in the Open next week at Chambers Bay. The good news is he'll be at the PGA at Whistling Straits and in the field at the Masters, but not eligible for the Open Championship right now.
Well, the only other Englishman to win here was Lee Westwood in 2010. Greg Owen hasn't been able to do that, to become the second to win, but he has performed well at the end today. And 2 putts away from outright second to that man who just walked onto the green, Fabian Gomez. You really feel like you belong. When you win on tour, your first win, you really feel like, well, I finally made it. All of that hard work and sweat and tears.
And there's Tyler, who is one of the honorary pin caddies here at the 18th. Tyler's undergoing chemotherapy at St. Jude. Earlier this week, the Purple Eagle plane was named in Tyler's honor. He is scheduled to finish treatment soon. Always so, we've mentioned this often this afternoon, but just so wonderful to see the children of St. Jude out here. And there is the plane that's named for Tyler, and the car that they've been building this week that will go on the auction block, we're told, at Barrett Jackson in the coming months.
That's cool. That's a nice car.
All the proceeds will go to St. Jude.
Well done to all those volunteers that put in all the hard-earned hours and efforts to get that done.
Tyler sneaking a smile there. His kids get out there and they really enjoy it, and the attention from the fans and the players.
Billy, they're hoping that car will make $100,000, and I can assure you, I used to own one, and it's worth a lot more than that. Just to hear the thing start up.
Gave him the flag. This event's been so closely linked with St. Jude, unique partnership, born more than 40 years ago. St. Jude became the tournament's sole beneficiary. Raised roughly $30 million to treat childhood cancers in the primary research facility for breakthroughs, which are used to treat children around the world with cancer. Owen.
Very well done, Greg Owen. That's all he needed to do. 2 putts for outright second, and he'll just clean up and leave the stage for Fabian Gomez.
It will be his second runner-up finish on the PGA Tour. The first was at Bay Hill, 2006, to Ron Pampling. Terrific week for this 43-year-old Englishman. Now calls Florida home and projected to move up to 95th inside the cut line in the FedEx Cup point standings.
Just a little bit of disappointment that he couldn't get it done to take out the victory, but he has to be proud of himself the way he finished off the last few holes to keep it in outright second.
Gomez to end with birdie. with an exclamation point. Wow.
13 under par. And there's your champion by 4. What a way to earn your first victory on the PGA Tour.
He has been impressive all week.
Last 2 weeks, the shorter guys have made the wins. Lingmerth last week was 5'7", Gomez just 5'8", and that's a really sweet moment. The winner's ball, young Tyler.
And you're right, it's a life changer. Fabian Gomez.
I'm sure Jose Caceres back home in Buenos Aires will be over the moon seeing his young charge get his first victory on tour. Caceres with 2, playing on the Champions Tour now.
He's going to go back and sign the glove for Tyler. And the golf ball. Father of 2, Fabian Gomez. 2 girls, Melinda and Valentina. So that's a nice moment after the heat of battle. Wave of the cap to the crowd here, and not only is he now a winner on the PGA Tour, but he will drive down Magnolia Lane and join the field in Augusta next April. Our MetLife shot of the day, and what a way to finish for Phil Mickelson as he shoots 65.
Yes, we saw a number of good putts holed at 18 today. That was the first one.
And Phil actually earlier made one from about twice that distance as he had the putter going.
And a nice positive way to go.
Time for the low round of the day. So Fabian Gomez is the winner of the FedEx St. Jude Classic, and he is down with David Fairdy. David?
Thank you, Billy. I've got Fabian here, and his manager and friend, Adrian Gonzalez, is going to help a little with translation. Fabian, you've got to be so excited. Your name, along with Roberto De Vicenzo, with Angel Cabrera, to add yourself to that list of players and the other Argentinians, got to be a great feeling.
Dice que debes estar muy emocionado por haber agregado tu nombre a la lista de ganadores argentinos como Ángel Cabrera, Roberto De Vicenzo, que han ganado ya aquí.
Sí, la verdad que contento, ¿no? por el triunfo y tener la bandera de Argentina también ahí arriba. Yo creo que ellos también deben estar muy emocionados, ¿no?
Yeah, you know, I'm so happy to win, and I know that to have the Argentinian flag, you know, looking for everybody. I know that Angela and Roberto, they are going to be really happy about it.
And to play in the PGA Championship and the Masters has got to be a thrill.
Dice que jugar el PGA Championship y el Masters para vos también debería ser un sueño.
Sí, la verdad que sí, algo nuevo para mí y bueno, contento también, ¿no? de jugar ese torneo, a ver si puedo también, bueno, de jugar y de estar ahí jugando bien.
Congratulations, and show us the flag. What you got there? You got to fly the flag. Billy?
All right, David, thank you very much. 34-32 and a 66. And really, you talk about the textbook way to win for the first time on tour. It's steady play, despite all the trouble there is on a golf course like this.
Yeah, it really was the way to do it. He drove it well. He had great decisions. His strategy was solid and sound. And to get your first victory in that fashion was really special.
And what about Phil Mickelson now, heading to Chambers Bay?
Yeah, I think he has a very good chance. He's been there. He knows the course better than a lot. And that's a good boost for him, 65 in his final round here.
And there he is, the 36-year-old from Argentina who grew up in the same town as former PGA Tour player Jose Caceres, who lives nearby, is still a mentor for him. And he's probably watching his charge win for the first time on the PGA Tour and all that goes with it on another magical week here in Memphis at the FedEx St. Jude Classic. Fabian Gomez, a winner for the first time on the PGA Tour by 4 shots. He concludes at 13 under. For all of us at CBS Sports, thanks for being with us so long from Memphis and the FedEx St. Jude